This is a 2-part question.
My favorite.
The first part is, if you could go back in time to when you were a child, is there a sport that you would have started playing?
Oh, 100%, dude.
Because part one is because you think you would have really liked it and you like it now, so you wish you would have played it. Part 2 is one that you think you would have been really good at.
Oh, shoot. Those are very different questions for me. I'm not an athlete like Joccie. If I could go back, I would have played lacrosse.
Okay. I feel like a lot of hockey people say that because lacrosse wasn't like super popular.
Well, okay. Damn it. Yeah, I would have played lacrosse. A sport that I think I could have been good at if I would have started at an earlier age would be golf. I think I would have been at...
And you started like this year.
Well, I played a little bit as a middle schooler because it was like $70 for the entire summer, and my parents could just drop me off at a little 9-hole par 3 course for 4 hours once a week. And I was decent. By the end of the summer, I was shooting fairly well, but I think if I would have started earlier, I'd be better than I am now. So if I could have played anything, it would have been lacrosse. If I would have been good at anything, it would have been golf.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay, next.
Next.
No. I've tried all the sports.
No.
Hockey.
Tried all the
The
sports.
answer to both is no.
Hockey's the only one. But also, I probably would have chosen something like hacky sack, like a California Games. I would have chosen like a California, like something I could be at the beach and do.
I don't think that's a sport, though.
With like a virgin pina colada in my hand. How is that not a sport?
Hacky sack is not
It's
a sport.
a hobby.
I disagree. You guys had
That'd be like
Atari,
saying,
right?
An Atari?
Look up the California Games video game.
What?
All sports in California Games are legit.
Atari California Games. What the hell is this? What is this?
What is going on?
It's like the best video game.
That's a bit of a racy video game cover.
The video game cover doesn't seem to match the vibes.
It does not. It does not.
Guys, this was like the late 80s. What are you talking
87.
about? So here's the thing. I've never even been to California, but
oh my gosh,
I've been freaking marooned to a state like Minnesota my whole life, and so the only option really was hockey.
You never been to California?
No.
They called it foot bag in this game.
Foot bag.
Foot bag.
Hacky sack called foot bag.
So I would have gotten really good at foot bag. And actually, I did get good at foot bag. That's what I did in the off season in high school. And like we had like a kind of a group.
Is there like a place you could have gone with that skill?
No, we called it the Official Hat Club. And that was actually an acronym.
HACK?
The Official Hat.
Hat.
Oh, hat?
The Hat Club.
HAT.
Hack.
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 What was the acronym?
Hack. My God.
The Hat Club.
The Hat Club.
Doesn't it sound like she's saying hat?
Yeah, hat like hat.
Hat.
But it's actually
hack.
hack.
Okay,
so the Hat Club. Are you going to tell us what the acronym stood for?
Do you know what an acronym is?
Yeah. Do you know what an acronym is?
Anyway, so
THC.
we had a pretty official club, the Hat Club, and like we would get a lot of kids in the hack circle, and sometimes we'd do like multi-level, like there'd be kids on the roof, like on my friend's garage.
Wow.
And we would get multi-level hacks.
Multi-level hacks.
That's amazing.
Okay.
So if I had more time,
you're not going to tell us what the acronym stands
This
for.
just goes back to
Kayla said it.
Yeah, THC. Come on, Peter. The Hack Club.
Oh, the Hack Club is the acronym. I thought you meant like HACK.
Oh.
No.
Hack.
We were just kids.
It just goes back to the fact that your high school experience was significantly different.
That's true. That's true. I was a Eucharistic minister. You were in the
There
Hack
were
Club.
members. They were members of both the Jefferson boys hockey team, the one that was written about in Blades of Glory, and the state championship winning girls team in the Hat Club.
So, do you want to tell us who is in the Hat Club?
I don't have the full roster anymore.
I could just start spitting out names. I could tell you.
I better not.
Damn it.
You don't want to give up that they were in the hack club.
We'll start sending some emails.
Okay, so the whole point is though is like a sport that is not like where it doesn't maroon me to these frigid types of like temperatures my whole life. Like something that's like a little different would be nice.
That's fair.
Hey, there's no way around. On top of the mount, I'm queen of the mountain. My cup running over. I already told ya, I'm moving fast. You live in the past.
My answer that I forgot to give is that the sport I wish I would have played is obviously hockey. The sport that I would have been good at, basketball. I was never put in basketball.
But why?
Because I'm so tall.
But here's the thing.
Or volleyball. I actually think I would have liked both of those.
I think you'd have been
love
better at volleyball because in my experience, somebody who slays at hockey like you usually isn't very good at basketball.
Oh.
It does not, they don't cross over. Yeah, you slay at hockey.
Oh, hold up. What are you saying about my basketball career?
It's probably, I've seen you play hockey too. There's no hope for you.
You have to
in
Dude, I was the
basketball.
best player on my team.
There's no hope for you in
On
basketball.
my 8U Northdale Rec Center Maroon team.
You
I was
have to
freaking
choose
awesome.
one to slay at, Peter.
One to
Well,
slay
out of
at?
only
Okay.
only as it relates to basketball hockey. You can do one well.
Okay, thank you. So I sucked at hockey, but I was the best on my basketball team.
There you go. And like
Dude.
Kayla, you could do hockey and volleyball and probably be good, but no hockey players are
Volleyball,
slaying basketball.
I actually would prefer volleyball over basketball. I'm not
Yeah.
that interested in basketball. I love playing volleyball. Volleyball is fun. I started playing like 4 years ago because Jake's friends always play, and I like
My buddy,
that sport.
my buddy Mark is a freak athlete, and he didn't start playing like hardcore organized sports
Yeah.
until freaking high school. And he plays volleyball with his wife, and his wife is, I think she won the Athena Award her senior year in high school.
Dang.
She was all conference soccer, all conference track and field, lacrosse, everything. She was legit. And they're on the same volleyball team. I would not want to go up against those two.
no way.
In a city park on a Wednesday
Dang.
evening.
Okay, the
during
vibe
summer.
that I'm
They're
getting
so
is
fun to watch.
they got to be like the neighbors on what's that Christmas Vacation.
They're wearing their matching
Yeah, they have
tracksuits.
like a bright like.
I've never seen Christmas Vacation.
Why is
Started
the carpet
watching
all wet,
it.
Todd? I don't know,
Margo.
Margo.
What the heck?
You have to watch that. I feel
Uh,
like
the-
you would
Do I?
really like
Yeah,
that.
your neighbors or whoever you're talking about, that's who they probably look
They're
like.
Todd and Margo.
Yeah, they're Todd and Margot.
They
for
are by
sure.
far.
Nobody wants to play them.
I wouldn't want to play them at all. If we stacked up all of the married people in my life, all of the couples, yeah, they would 100% be the most athletic.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play.
I don't know. Joe won a state championship in football, and his wife is a national junior college figure skating champion.
Man,
So they might be
where do you find all
athletic.
these
Wait, what
athletic
couple
friends?
is this? Yeah, geez.
I
Where do you
don't-
pick up friends from?
The
My-
athletic
So this
School?
like
store?
this core group of friends that I've had since kindergarten, two of them won a state title with Cretin-Derham Hall in football. One of them, Mark, we were looking at going to the same college, and he looked at some of their cross-country times, and he said, oh, my God, I would be in the top third of the cross-country team, but I don't want to go to that school. And then, so AJ, Joe, Mark. Ryan is athletic in his own way.
Nice.
He's athletic in his own way. St. Paul firefighter, shout
Keep
out.
it up, Brian.
He just asked me to be in his wedding. Little personal note there, so.
Slay.
Cool. We're 3 for 3 so far. And when AJ gets married, maybe I'll be in his wedding too.
Wow.
Yeah. Kayla, you might have some wedding work on your plate if you can find some time during the summer.
I would like
She's
that.
gonna be at POW.
It's going to be a busy ass summer wedding wise.
Yeah, I got stuff to do, actually. Work. I'm
Oh, yeah.
dedicated to my craft.
You got to be there for Minnesota Lakers Blue playing SDP Black at 9:30 at night at the Eden Prairie Community
Somebody has to
Center.
do the interview.
Yup. So, yeah, I'm starting with the interviews now.
Hey, so tell me about last year. You played for this team. Well, I'm transferring this year, so that happened to me during Pell.
Breaking news,
Awkward.
folks.
Yeah, it was a little awkward there. We can restart if you don't want that out there right now. But we are here to talk about women's hockey, not the Prep Elite League, and not how popular Peter is because he's in so many weddings and how athletic all of his friends are.
Seriously.
So we are excited to discuss a little PWHL, a little Olympics, and maybe even a little Travis and Jason Kelsey. What?
Oh.
So if we refer to the Google Doc, where are we at, gang?
It's a presentation,
Oh, I'm sorry.
which I did wonder last night.
It's
Like,
Jossie's presentation.
why do I use the presentation?
We should like put it on
a
a big
slideshow.
slideshow in the back.
Because then I don't have to get so confused about my notes all the time, and people could just look at them.
I don't know if
I'm
we
looking at
want
them right
people
now.
to see our notes. They don't look very organized.
They look
Right.
fantastic. Look at all these bold letters and
Yeah.
the complete and utter inconsistency of the font size.
The copy that's the copy and paste for you.
That's the copy and paste. All right. Well,
They
we.
copy and paste it right in the same
I
format.
mean, what do you guys
it is.
expect? I'm just a girl.
Oh my God! Don't say that shit.
I'm just scared.
We are not. Is infantilizing the right word there?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Don't infantilize yourself,
Yeah,
Jossie.
Jossie.
You're one of the strongest women I know. No bullshit.
That's because I lift weights.
That's
Well, I was gonna go with like emotionally strong, but yeah,
Oh, yeah,
physically strong too.
Well, there's that too. But that's why I'm so self-deprecating.
I'm here.
physically
with-
strong, emotionally weak.
Is that you or
Yeah.
is okay?
I'm not physically strong, no.
I mean, I've seen you in the rink.
Physically weak, emotionally weak.
Slay.
Slay queen.
I'm just a girl. All right, last game, the PWHL Minnesota Frost with a 6-2 win over New York, moving up to second place. It's a tale as old as time. The
It's a tale
Minnesota
as old as
Frost
time.
are always in the top two, dog.
They really are.
I don't even know what to say about the Frost. It's the same thing every year. Like the Frost are never outside of the running.
No, and that
Ever.
Wait,
6 to 2.
wait. Last year they barely made
Oh yeah,
playoffs.
oh yeah. Remember they
And then they won it.
Well, then they won it.
know.
So,
Never
but let's
count the
remember.
Frost out.
Let's remember. Natalie Spooner got injured,
Yeah, and
and Toronto was on a heater with Spooner leading the league, and then Toronto-
but they
Spoon
made
dog.
the mistake of choosing to go against the Frost because
those
remember idiots.
Why would you ever try to
Why'd
fight
you go up-
Minnesota?
Yeah, why'd you go up against Minnesota? We just won the cup the year before.
Yeah, they definitely underestimated us.
1,000%.
And that 6-2 win over New York, Taylor Heisey had the first goal of the game at 6:15 of the first period, and then Kendall Coyne followed with another goal 12 seconds later.
The
And that-
ageless
Yes.
wonder, Kendall
that-
Coyne Schofield.
Seriously, I don't know how she moves so fast. But that was a new team record for the fastest consecutive goals.
I wonder how fast it's even possible to get consecutive
The
goals.
record for the PWHL is 11 seconds, so they barely missed.
I was gonna say I'm thinking I mean, how fast from
Could you-
dropping the puck
yeah.
I think
could
it's
you
7.
7 seconds.
I think 7 is the fastest.
like the
in
fastest
NHL history.
possible?
Are you looking that up,
I am.
Kayla Jo Franz? I think it's 7.
Because you have to go from the face-off.
You got to get to the
Yeah.
net.
Yeah. Well, if we were playing NHL 2004, when I made the clock as slow as possible because I wanted to score a ton of goals, and then I changed all the sliders to make my team really good, it's 3 seconds. So
3 seconds.
3.
Okay, well, so there's something to work toward.
She's typing over there. We're gonna
Well,
figure
I'm
out.
trying to write it in a way that they
fastest
don't
goal.
think, I said consecutive. Oh, there we go. 2 seconds?
Nah.
No way.
Nope.
It says Montreal Canadiens in 2018.
Okay,
Okay, I
wait.
need to look
Okay,
it-
so
I'm
let's
looking
say
it up.
That is
let's say
not-
the center wins the faceoff forward and then rips a clapper from the faceoff dot, I guess.
No way. It's not physically possible.
Oh, that's why. It was an empty net.
Yeah, I mean,
They shot it
yeah,
from
so you win the
center.
faceoff forward
That's nuts.
and you
It's
just rip.
it happened at 1938 and 1940 of the third period.
That's crazy.
That is wild. But I
Yeah,
guess
2
that would
seconds
be
is
the
crazy.
absolute fastest.
Yeah.
That's a slow trigger finger on the clock person.
That's what I was thinking too. It depends on the person running the clock.
Yeah.
Because if you start it 1 second too late, then you're
But we're still back at 3 seconds.
Yeah,
Which is what
true.
you've proven is the fastest possible.
According to my video game.
Yeah. Count it. Count it. Count it.
All right. Other PWHL news: the Takeover Tour continues. Denver, Chicago, Detroit, and Winnipeg. If you guys could visit any of those cities for a women's hockey game, which would it be?
You're talking about March takeover tour
They
games?
also, I was
Yeah.
gonna say they also have Calgary and Edmonton in April.
In April.
I mean, looking at this list, I'm saying Denver because I think that crowd
You'd go
gets
to
so
Denver?
rowdy.
Yeah, it
Okay.
looks fun there.
I think they make the atmosphere really
I
fun.
also just like Denver. So
Denver.
Chicago, probably some traffic getting out of town. I don't have that kind of time.
I think I'd like to see one in Winnipeg. I just want to see how Canadians on the prairies show up for women's hockey.
But if I'm going to Canada to watch a game, I'm going to Halifax.
Why?
I don't know. Like, it just seems, again, atmosphere.
Okay. Atmosphere over everything, I suppose.
Yeah.
They also have 2 other games that are specialty games, and one is they're both in New York and Boston, but they're at the Madison Square Garden and then TD Garden.
All right.
I think Madison Square Garden, did they already do one there? No.
Probably.
I think this is the one they're talking about. Like, they're trying to sell it out because, like, Madison Square Garden's pretty big.
Oh, yeah, dude. Madison Square Garden's pretty big. So is TD Garden, though.
Going back to Kendall Coyne-Schofield, she just became the first player to record a double-digit goal total this season. So she just hit 10 goals, basically, is what that's saying.
I'm telling you, dude.
She's number 1 in the league with 16 points. And Minnesotans right now are 4 out of the 5 top 5 in the stats for skaters. So for points.
Some things never change.
And we also lead in the assists category because Heisey has 11 assists.
PWHL attendance, the monthly attendance has hit 200,000 for January. Season attendance has officially surpassed over 500,000 people. I think that the question about if this league has staying power in terms of drawing eyeballs and personal attendance, I think that's been answered a few times over.
Yeah.
Especially because it's the 3rd season. Like, you'd think there'd be a dip instead of a
I fully
constant,
expected there to be a dip.
Yeah,
fully
constant
expected
increase. So
I think the PWHL has done a really nice job of carving out kind of a niche for itself.
yeah,
And they also did really well. I read an article from the Ice Garden, shout out the Ice Garden, about a game played in D.C. And the writer, I should actually know who wrote that, did a nice job of polling the audience and figuring out why they were coming to watch hockey. And there was a nice mix of people that enjoyed men's hockey but then wanted to support women's hockey, and then women who felt like they finally had a place where they could cheer for people who, look like them, which does make a difference.
yeah,
That DC game was the highest attended women's hockey game in U.S. history.
Was it really?
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I've said
Too many
S word
swears.
way too many times today. Layla Edwards is officially going to have her family paid for going to the Olympics thanks to a couple of NFL players. Joss, you want to fill me in on that one?
Well, from what I can tell, Layla was interviewed at her birthday party, and she had mentioned that the goal for her goal was hit. Her GoFundMe goal was hit, and she wanted enough money to help get a bunch of her family over to Milan with her. So that's super exciting, but it looked like Travis and Jason Kelsey kind of promoted it. They talked about her on their pod. They have the connection of the Cleveland Heights, Ohio hometown. And so Layla is the first black female to ever represent United States the hockey team.
Because Sarah Nurse is Canadian, right?
Yeah, so so they kind of really think that's special, and so then they were promoting her on their pod, and then that GoFundMe ended up surpassing its goal for.
So do we know what they have to pay for? Are they paying Layla Edwards for her?
Layla
to go
pays
there?
for nothing.
Okay, it's her family that wants to come support.
Yeah,
her.
her grandma and
Yes. Okay.
some other people. So it's their airfare, hotel, and ground transportation.
Okay.
While they're there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was kind of confused on that. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
so-
saw that somewhere.
Jason Kelsey donated $10,000 to the GoFundMe to help the family get over there, which does include 91-year-old grandma who is going to hop on that plane and go to Italy. That's fantastic.
That's so cool.
I remember seeing Layla's family at the U18 Women's World Championships in Madison. That is a formidable group. They are the type of people you want at every game because they are cheering no
They're
matter
all there together.
what, dude.
Well, so I was gonna say I wore my Faust Fest hat today, and this is the Wisconsin alumni 3-on-3 tournament that we play in May, and our group was just chatting this week because a lot of times any of the PW teams that make it to playoffs, those players can't come to Faust Fest because they're still playing. So we're kind of crossing our fingers that the Frost don't make it because we really want some of our Frost alumni to come to Faust Fest. But Layla, I played with her at Faust Fest 2 seasons ago, and she had her whole entourage at Faust Fest. So it was so special. Literally the same people that she's fundraising to bring to the Olympics were all crowding around Madison Ice Arena 3-on-3 rink, cheering for our team in Madison, which is so fun.
That is really cool.
And they are such a good group. I mean, like Layla is like one of the sweetest girls. I mean, I hope the best for her. I think everybody should be supporting her to the fullest and help her with whatever endeavor she's trying to accomplish.
Well, and women's hockey needs more than just, and I hope some of the dads listening don't take this the wrong way, they need more than the surly dads who stand in the corner with their arms crossed who don't say anything during the game. They need people to cheer. They need people to yell. They need people to bring flags and pom-poms and streamers and stuff. Like, there has to be a little bit of enthusiasm here.
They should get some of my Bantam C white parents because they are a rowdy bunch.
You want to start sending out some, what's the messaging system you're using right now?
Oh, what are we using?
It's not WhatsApp.
Group me?
Is it
my
Group Me?
Snapchat?
No, not Snapchat. No, you don't need to send out your Snapchat.
Wait, do you mean my, okay.
Your thread with the Bantam C.
Oh, yeah,
parents.
the Group Me.
It's a Group Me. Okay, so it is a Group Me. Maybe you can link some people to your Group Me.
So I can get my Group Me, tell them about the Olympics.
Yeah, and they can all pool their money and go to Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Duh.
It might be easier than trying to fill a volunteer slot.
Oh my
Going to
God. Seriously. You're not wrong. But I will say, you guys, and this should make you feel good. While we've been recording, I do have a response.
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
Hi. Yes, I can do that for you.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Success.
Sounds like you're going to Italy for the Olympics.
So things are looking pretty good for me. But moving on to the rest of our PWHL coverage.
The next game they're playing is Vancouver on Wednesday at 8 p.m. It's a late night for a Wednesday. But it is the first time that Vancouver will be in
Grand Casino.
Welcome to our humble state.
And so we're planning on winning that game, right?
Yeah, Vancouver is like 7th or 8th, I think.
Yeah.
In the league. And I just watched the Seattle game, and they're also 7th or 8th, and it was...
That was the 6-2 game.
No, that was New York.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I was at Scoortacular for the 6-2 one.
Yes, right. Yes.
Having
yes.
such a fun time.
Such a fun time. And then after that game, everybody leaves.
The next morning,
right?
yes. They literally like that. Those Minnesota girls, like they play till whatever 11 at night.
And you said there's 60 players that are going to be gone. Eh?
So yeah, let's get into it a bit. Like I was looking, there are 61 PWHL players from the league that will go represent various teams. So 23 of them for Team Canada, as we talked about, has no NCAA players. 16 PWHL players on Team USA. And then 22 players representing the other European teams.
Gotcha.
Also, 17 NCAA schools represented over all the countries.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So when you get to like looking at like Hockey East schools, you know, they all have like maybe one player. The ECAC school is one player, but they're representing a lot of countries like France, Czechia, Germany, Switzerland. And then there's 4 Swedish players coming from Ohio State. Sorry, I should say 3. Several Finnish and Swedish players, more coming from like the Atlantic League and WCHA.
Okay. I see one player from Ohio State who's my favorite player in the entire world, Mira Youngakar.
That's one of the Swedish players.
Favorite player
It's
in
my
the
favorite player in the entire world. Favorite player.
How do you know so much about this player?
Because I saw her at U18 Women's Worlds, and I just love the way she played. She was the toughest person on the ice in every game Sweden played.
Cool.
Nice. So, yeah, it looks like Minnesota has 4 players. UMD has 2, both representing Sweden. Taya Johansson is like one of their leading scorers. So, looking at these rosters, you know, lots of notable names. Team USA is represented by several players that we've seen many times. Hillary Knight will play in her 5th Olympics.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
She's already announced that this will be her last.
I don't want to say I hope so, but oh my goodness, if she could possibly compete in 6 Olympics, that'd be nuts.
Yeah. I wonder what the record for that is.
Yeah,
Well, it couldn't be in a contact sport like hockey. It would have to be in something
like curling.
curling.
Something like that. The next home game for the Minnesota Frost is Friday, March 13th, which is a long time from now.
Long time from now.
The next game is March 13th.
Yes.
Why is that longer than? Oh, because they probably play away games then.
Yeah, that's just the next home game.
Okay.
The next away game is March 1st. So still far away. It's the whole Olympic break. So
will we record again before the Team USA drops the puck on their first game? That's going to be the 5th.
couldn't tell you.
Neither could I. Well, they're going to take an Olympic break, and I think it's a good time for us to take a break. Joccie, Kayla, and Olivia will be back in a moment to tell you all about Division I and Division III hockey.
All right. Well, I haven't gone anywhere, but nobody really wants to talk about women's hockey, so Peter left, which is why I brought in Olivia.
Peter left.
He left, so
If you're wondering,
number 2.
yeah, if you're wondering how that chair turned from Peter to Olivia, just like that, that's how we did it. So, welcome back, Olivia.
Thanks, Joccie.
How's your week been?
Good. I'm going to Louisiana this weekend.
What's in Louisiana?
My brother.
The baby.
And the baby.
Are
I'm
you
really
going
excited.
to get? Okay, wait. Where do you eat? Like, what do you eat when you go to Louisiana?
Well, this time I feel like I've never really done it right, and they're moving soon, so I need everyone's recommendations because I mean,
think
I've
you're supposed to get oysters Rockefeller.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten that there. I mean, I've gotten that before.
I think that's what you're supposed
What else
to
I
get.
get? Oh, beignets. I got that.
Oh yeah, beignets. And then the like paella. Isn't that what everybody eats, or like
yeah, I
some
didn't
sort
get
of
that.
shrimp etouffee?
Yeah.
I don't even know these words.
And I need to go to all the spooky places.
So are you going to like straight up New Orleans, or are you going?
Well, they live like right outside of it. So my brother, he's always like, I'm not bringing my wife and baby to New Orleans, which is kind of fair. But that also means I don't get to go.
Oh.
So I only got to go one time of all the times.
Tell
they
him
lived
to
there.
go with you by himself.
Yeah,
Leave the
but
wife and baby at home.
just go to the World Market, get the beignets,
So
head
I'm
back.
just gonna go by myself.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
If it's during the day, that's fine. I live in Minneapolis. That's fine.
You'll be fine. You will be totally fine.
I can do
So is it your niece or nephew?
my nephew, and then my sister-in-law and my brother.
Oh, that's fun.
So I'm really excited. So we're going to get back at about 2 a.m. from Friday Night Ice, and my flight's at 6 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Seriously.
Saturday morning.
You don't even literally.
Are you gonna go home?
I was going to say,
I think they should just drop me off at the airport.
Seriously.
But, like, do you think they would, or do you think they'd be like, no?
I think it's a cheap ride to the airport. I think
Like,
that's
I
a
would
good-
sit there for a few extra hours. I'd just sleep there. I booked this trip. I'm like, it's going to be warm. Nope. They're having a cold front, too.
oh.
It's
it's like an
I mean,
ice
50
storm.
degrees warmer than here, but still not warm.
Bummer.
Today is freaking the hottest day.
Heat wave.
Yeah.
Heat wave, 10 degrees.
Double digits. Anyway.
Yeah, everyone's in their sweaters today, and I wore a sweatshirt. Thanks.
Well, yeah.
Last
we
week
we
I
already
wore a
talked
nice
about
sweater.
last week, like the sweater trend.
Yeah. So
The sweaters are taking
I
over.
actually literally thought about that. I didn't like purposely wear a sweater, but I was like thinking like, wow, I feel like I have to wear a sweater now to
to fit in. Well, this is my first time wearing a sweater, even though I said last week that I like wear sweaters every day. I'm like a full lie.
it's a lie.
Anyway, so talking NCAA hockey is back.
We're back.
Okay. Like, so we're embarking on the portion of the season that doesn't include, what is it?
Olympians.
61 players. How many players are coming from the NCAA? No, 61 are PETA, but I've got a list here of all the NCAA players, and it's got to be like 30 or something like that.
It's crazy to me that they're going to be gone until first round of playoffs.
Yes, 17 schools will be missing at least a player. And as you look at a lot of these schools where the impact is probably going to be the biggest, Penn State, they lose their leading scorer, Tessa Janicki. We've talked about that. Wisconsin, like I think 4 of their 5 are their top 4 point producers on their team right now, and the 5th one's a goalie. So probably their top producing defender as well. So that'll impact Wisconsin way more significantly than most of these other schools. St. Cloud State loses 4. Definitely a couple of their scorers, but more from the Finland, Germany, Switzerland group. And Ohio State loses Joy Dunn and Hilda Svensson, who scores a lot of goals for them. And, of course, Minnesota loses probably 2 or 3 of their top producers. So this will be really interesting because looking ahead, like if we got out to upcoming D1 early this week and do last week later, we can look and see this is probably one of the most exciting WCHA weekends yet.
For sure.
I didn't see, like, the last time they had a couple of these matchups, Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Ohio, Minnesota, Duluth, like, if this is identical to that weekend earlier this year. But I just think the parity in this weekend's matchups is going to be so good.
Well, it's crazy to think that we're going to see a Gopher Wisconsin team play that there's no Murph, there's no KK
Bouvang.
Harvey, there's no Bouvang. Like, it's just like.
But that's the same thing on, okay, so, like, I mean, for example, last week, even though Murph had, what did she have, 7 points in their weekend, she didn't even get forward of the week because Kristen Sims got 8 points.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even make that up. But yeah, Wisconsin will be a challenge of the depth of these benches. So this should be exciting to see, and at least it's not like one team or the others go like just have the major advantage by not having lost all their top scorers. But it should be fun to see because there are players on both teams right now that are standing up. Like Claire Enright scored twice last weekend. Disted's been on fire. I think she's like 8 or 9 goals on this second part of the season after the winter break. So there are players stepping up for both teams that I'm excited because, you know, frankly, I think almost all these players are seniors as well. So this should be indicative of what they can expect from leadership in the next season as well.
I think that's why it's so cool because you think of the top 3 teams, Ohio, Gophers, Wisco, and they have so much depth that we never get to see.
Right.
And so this will be cool because we're going to see players we don't get to see who are really good.
Exactly.
And would be top players on
a lot of
other teams.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm like so excited for these series. And, you know, even like the St. Thomas, St. Cloud this weekend, like that'll be big. St. Cloud is missing people and like.
Yeah, St. Cloud's missing 4 people and they've had a couple good weekends. So again, it should be a really good. It should be the parity this weekend should be better than we may have seen in years of the WCHA.
Exactly.
And correct us if we're wrong when we come back after the weekend. But I'm looking forward to seeing this. It's gonna be hard to follow while I'm coaching my team in Alexandria.
You're gonna be in Alex. That'll be fun.
I know. I've never done the big old tournament.
That'll be so fun. Alex is great.
Usually we have to go all the way to Fargo. So anyway,
but at least Fargo has the shields with the carousel.
And we do always enjoy that when we go. Oh, and the panoramic photo. Oh, it's so good. I have multiple framed panoramic photos from Fargo.
Amazing.
Anyway, so yeah, we've got 4 really good WCHA matchups this weekend, and as long as we're talking about coming up in the Atlantic Conference, Penn State University and Mercyhurst should sweep their weekends, and that'll keep them kind of in the top. ECAC, Princeton will play Clarkson on Saturday, and they're battling for the top of the ECAC league, so that should be a really good matchup on Saturday. In Hockey East, Northeastern will play Holy Cross, and they're like 2 and 3 in that division, so that'll be an important couple of points. And then in Newha, Stonehill versus Assumption, they're 1 and 2 in the Newha, and they will face each other this weekend. So overall, I gotta say, for a weekend where we're missing all of our favorite players to watch, it might be one of the most like exciting and influential weekends in the NCAA so far this season. Because the points are a lot closer. I think I told you last week something like Wisconsin had like 80 points to Minnesota's 40, and that wasn't true. It was like 53-48. So there's actually 8 games left in the WCHA between each team has the ability to get up to 24 more points.
Yeah.
And
because Wisconsin has
53.
Ohio has 49. Gophers have 48.
So the reality is it really can go, like the conference standings can still go any direction. I mean, when you look at polls, Wisconsin's still getting unanimous first place votes, but the layout for the remainder of the 8 games says a lot. A lot can happen. So as far as, and then like really what does that impact? It impacts their conference tournament seeding and home ice advantage. and ultimately their
bids.
region and national tournament bids. So there it does matter, these conference standings at the end of the day, but that's not gonna like make or break the opportunity to go all the way for. I don't think any of these teams. I think there's auto bid already for 3 of these teams, 4 of these teams. So frankly, teams like St. Cloud, who I think St. Cloud has the ability to get 24 more points, and they have to play MSU. They play 3 of the bottom teams, but the best they could do with 24 more points is still 5th.
Dang.
So they wouldn't have enough with 24. I think they have 17 right now. So even with all wins, a sweep of their last 4 series, or 3 of their 4 series, I should say, because they're playing. They have to play, I think, UMD, maybe one team in the top 5. The best they can do is 5th. But looking at some of the other divisions, like Penn State sweeps Delaware last week with 2 shutout performances. Katie Desai is one of the top goalies in the league, and she's playing for Penn State. She's not a Minnesotan. She has 8 shutouts on 16 starts, but I also noticed Madison Campbell, who's their second goalie and a freshman, she only has 6 starts, and she was one of their shutout wins this past weekend against Delaware, but that was her 4th shutout in 6 starts as a freshman goalie.
Dang.
So
it also makes you wonder, like, most often if you're putting your freshman goalie in, it's like, who are they playing?
Well, they played Delaware, and so it makes sense that they played her. And they're using, I mean, like I said, Katie Desai leads the league with 8 shutouts. But Penn State's doing, like, they're just winning. So, like, they're so far ahead of everybody else in their league. It's just not even, like, a real competition right now.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm, like, interested to see how they're going to be without Janicki.
Without Janicki. And here's the thing, like, I've made a few comments. They're not getting consistent scoring out of many other players. And they were, at some point or another, there were some other players that were consistently contributing, but it's not impacting their bottom line. They're still getting the wins, and their goaltenders are standing up. So, anyway, also in the Atlantic Division, Mercyhurst swept last week. So Mercyhurst should be, like, right on the heels of PSU, but they're just so far ahead that it doesn't really, like, feel like they're on their heels. And then in the ECAC, and all this is impacting the polls, Princeton terminated their 13-game winning streak. They lost twice this weekend. So they first lost to Cornell on Friday night, 6-1, like battered by Cornell, which is surprising. Princeton's been getting a lot of scoring, and their goaltending's been fire. I don't believe Uma played that night.
I think that when you go on a crazy streak like that, like, it's bound to. Yeah,
it's going to have to end, but a 6-1 romping.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And Cornell has been hot or not. Like, they've moved a little bit down the rankings compared to the last, like, full year. But anyway, good on Cornell. And then Princeton couldn't bounce back. They ended up losing to Colgate the next day, 3-2 in overtime. And that had to sting way worse. Colgate, bounced off the top 15 in the poll. And they've been struggling to get wins that they probably would have been getting in the last couple of seasons. And so that probably stung worse for Princeton than the 6-1 romping on Friday.
Well, we watched them in their, like, Thanksgiving weekend tournaments, and it was just very, like, unimpressive to watch them in, like, non-conference play.
I know. We were like, want.
We were like, oh, we'll see kind of where they really stand.
Where do they stand, yeah.
And we were like, oh, okay, without Kultikova, I mean, Colgate.
And that's when they
totally
started.
Different team.
Yeah, that's when they started dropping lower. So anyway, that had to be really tough for Princeton. Again, it's important to deal with adversity, see how you handle it, see how you respond. If you want to be a championship winning team, you can't just really go through your season like unaffected with any kind of, losses or adversity. So anyway, let's see how they bounce back this weekend. But looking at the ECAC, and this is the tightest conference of all 5 conferences, there's 3 basically tied in standings. So Quinnipiac's a half a point ahead of Princeton and Clarkson, who are tied. And when you look at the breakup of what they have remaining in their season, Quinnipiac only plays one of the top 7 teams in that league, whereas Princeton plays 3 top 7. Clarkson plays all 6 of their games are top 7 opponent, the top of this league. So Clarkson's got to play the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th ranked teams, whereas Quinnipiac and Princeton just have a little bit of an easier last 4 weeks of their season. So lots can still happen, but Clarkson will have the hardest time staying in the top 3 in that ECAC conference probably. But if they do, it'll be peaking at the best time of the season. They will have been beating all these top teams late in the season, which is a great time to be doing that.
Yeah. I'm excited to see, like, bids and stuff towards the end of the year.
There's some bracketology coming out as of today, so I didn't really look at it, and some of that doesn't even make sense. But I know it's fun to see who's going to get what.
And it's like, you think about it, too, and there's still, like, automatic bids for, you know, like, teams, like, in the newer.
I know, but is that going to happen? Like, because some of that, I don't know, I feel like when they switched away from MPI, I feel like maybe it will impact, like, in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. I just remember when they were, like, trying to figure it out for a few years, and it was COVID, and
yeah,
they just expanded the tournament, and it was just like, who are we getting bids to?
Yes. I think some of that is shaking out,
I think
actually.
it is, too. I think they're starting to figure it out a little
So,
bit.
yeah, I'm excited. And maybe over the Olympic break, we can get, like, more detailed episode or, like, even just a side episode of the bracketology and, like, what that will look like. But
Yeah.
in the Hockey East, the majority of the teams have 8 games remaining. A couple teams only have 7. Northeastern leads that league by 12 points. There are no Minnesotans on Northeastern. Wah, wah. And they swept UConn, who is number 5 in the country. Northeastern swept UConn last week. So UConn actually drops a couple places after that. In the New Ha, all teams have 8 games remaining. Franklin Pierce and St. Anselm are tied for the league in that league. Stonehill and Assumption are just behind them, and that's the series this weekend. This Stonehill Assumption series that should be important for New Ha. Addison Andre is one of those leading scorers in the New Ha, and she's a freshman. She keeps getting like freshman of the week and stuff. And then of course we talked about the WCHA. So that's kind of looking at last week, and where those conferences are standing, what we can expect. Last but not least, I like to highlight, we didn't talk polls, but I like to highlight the Summit scores. And I do have Maddie Christian's name on this week. She scored on Friday. So she's Penn State University. That's one of the girls that I say, like, we either see, like, a plethora of scoring from Maddie and Caitlin Roberts, or we haven't seen them, like, I was wondering even recently, like, if they were injured. Delaney Fleming scored in Cornell's 6-1 win over Princeton. Whitney Horton scored for St. Thomas this week. Bria Holm had a shutout for Sacred Heart. Slay. How about Haley Hansen?
Oh, my gosh. Unreal.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about last week's WCHA matchups. Because Haley Hansen had a shutout. Mm-hmm. Jamie Nelson had a Hattie Bobatty. Like, another, like, double-digit Gophers.
That was Jamie's first hat trick in the WCHA.
And she did it in, like, 20 WCHA minutes.
But isn't that crazy?
I know.
Like, for Jamie, you'd think
I'm so happy for her. And the
yeah.
Gophers have a Hattie every game, at least, if not 2.
Yeah,
that's
recently.
super exciting. That's so fun.
Yeah, so cool for her. But, I mean, was so dominant at Mankato. I was like, really? That was her first hat trick as, like...
Yeah, weird.
You know? But super awesome.
Yeah, that was exciting. Like, we were over at Orono. We had a game that night, and Sam was watching the game live, and I look over, like, every 2 minutes, and I'm, like, talking to girls on my team. Every 2 minutes, I look over, and 2 more goals.
Oh, yeah.
It was literally 8-0, like, in 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Gophers, yeah, they swept St. Cloud in their home and home. So first game 8-1, second game 5-1, and then we talked a little bit about Haley Hansen and Duluth and Mankato played. First game 0-0,
a 0-0 tie,
and then second game 3-0 Duluth, but still both super close games.
Yeah, I think that was a big weekend for MSU after their weekend against the Gophers.
Yeah. For sure. And gosh, Haley Hansen is just like killing it.
Yeah. So good for her. That's fun. That MSU, like, they've been a little bit inconsistent. They keep kind of trying to crawl up the rankings. And then they have some big weekends like sweeping the Gophers, and then some weekends that are kind of more like, are they at the bottom of the rankings? And they're not.
Mm-hmm. And then St. Thomas, Ohio State, first game, Ohio win 2-1.
That was so fun to see that final score.
I know. I was like, holy, like, I wish I
And
would've
Whitney
watched
Horton
that
had a
game.
big night, and actually Ohio had one player score both their goals. So, like, I mean, sometimes it's like you have a hot player like that, but St. Thomas is even closer than it looks
Yeah.
in a 2-1 win when one player's having a hot night.
And then second game, Ohio comes out 5 rip. So Ohio sweep, Gopher sweep, Duluth sweep, kind of. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and Wisconsin sweep.
And then Wisconsin sweep. But the Wisconsin series against Bemidji,
How about that?
the first game, Bemidji comes out, scores
The first
did they
three.
score the first three?
Yeah.
They scored
Like,
the
I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like it.
They score the first 3 goals, and I mean, I was getting texts. I was like, "What is happening?
What's going on?" Yeah, that was, let's see. So on Saturday, Isa Ghetto scores the first goal, literally like right in the beginning of the game. And good on her. And I brought her up a couple of times because she's always seems to be this like sole goal scorer in these big, Ohio or Minnesota or Wisconsin matchups. But so they managed to score 3 goals in their Saturday game in a 10-3 loss. But then it was the Sunday game. Okay, the Sunday game, they only scored 1 goal. But I just was really impressed to see Bemidji get that kind of offense against Wisconsin. Like, almost nobody's getting that.
Yeah.
And they're not the offensive threat that they look like they are on this. So here's what it is. After the first period, it was 3-3.
3-3, yeah. So it was like Isa and then Wisco 2, and then Bemidji came back with 2.
Yes.
So it was 3-2.
Super high scoring first period. Ending. And so, yeah, it's almost never, and you could bet most of your savings account that anytime you open the scoring app and Wisconsin's playing, that you will not see like a tied score like that after the first period.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, and even you think about it, like that first Gopher game against St. Cloud, the Gophers scored 7 goals in the second period.
that's what I was saying. It was like we were sitting there getting ready for this game, and every time I looked over, they were freaking cheering. But but isn't the Gophers a little bit like that this season? They'll kind of like they'll get on a little roll where they're just pumping them in.
Yeah. It's like
Like
holy
capitalizing on like a team getting off their game or something, or just turning on the fire and like pumping them in. And then it's like there must be some like on the bench competition, like I'm gonna get a hat trick and not you or something, because like it's so fun to see that. They must feed off each other. Like it's just like if I'm Brad Frost, I'm going like trying like desperately to like figure out what they're putting in that so that he can make it again next year. Cause like, although wait, I heard this is like crazy, but
rumor mill.
yeah, like
Rumor
okay,
mill.
so 4 expansion PWHL teams, right?
Yeah.
There's rumors going around that like one of the most obvious and perfect picks for a coach would be Frost.
For a P-Dub team?
Mm-hmm. The one that I even heard specifically was Chicago.
I feel like, I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I don't know. I feel like he wouldn't. But maybe he would. His kids are all out of the house.
But then think about it too, like he's stuck around all this time, and like he's got this great legacy with a player like Abby Murphy. Let's say she does go. Let's say Chicago is.
She would, if there's an expansion team in Chicago, she will go to Chicago.
And then like, wouldn't it be so special to like continue to have that player-coach relationship? I don't know. Anyway, that's just wishful thinking.
I could see it. I could definitely see it, but especially because, yeah, like all his boys are out of the house and live, you know what I mean, like in college or
Right, like maybe he's not
married
like stuck here.
yeah, so like
He's not like, I mean,
I
like
could see it, but I don't know. There's always been rumors about him, like
going here or there.
because people always, you know what I mean. He could coach. Of course, he could coach at the
Yeah.
PW level. Like, of course he could. He's like had such an awesome career.
Right.
Of course he could.
Yeah.
If he wanted to. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
But then like I just think it'd be so special, like if Abby Murphy gets, like if Chicago gets a team, Abby Murphy gets drafted, they announce Brad Frost as the head coach. That team would probably win a Walter Cup.
Oh my gosh, I think about, like, if Murph played at Chicago, I feel like I would want to be there for so many games. Because it'd be so cool to see all those little kids, like, cheer for Murph. Like, that's where she grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, she played Mission there. And,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, she always was there. And it's cute to hear her, like, talk about, like, growing up in Chicago and, like, the ties that she so obviously has there.
Yeah.
And it would just be so cool.
Wouldn't that be so cool? I know, I've been
Like,
trying to...
I would want to be there for the first game 100%.
Yeah.
That would be
Maybe
so
they'd play
cool.
the Frost.
Yeah, maybe. I'm excited
Anyway.
for them to announce the expansion.
I know. There's more and more... I mean,
It's just so much, like, hearsay. It's like,
so much
I
hearsay.
think it's going to be here.
But I think they do. I think that, like, in some cases, they actually are just, like not flying by the seat of their pants, but, like, I think they're using takeover tour data. I think they're using real-time attendance data and stuff like that to make decisions
Oh, yeah.
real time. So it's not
Well,
like
that's why-
predetermined sites per se.
Yeah,
Like,
I think they're just, like, seeing what markets, like, are the best. And, like, through the takeover tour, obviously. But people are, like, the places where they're having the double games. on the
that's what
takeover
I
tour,
heard.
Those are most likely going to be the expansion, which, like, makes sense.
Right.
But then it's also, like, Halifax, question mark?
But then why'd they fill up Halifax?
Yeah.
If
Like,
Halifax
that's
question mark,
really-
because then they go to Chicago and nobody shows up.
Yeah. But it wasn't at New Year's.
There were a lot of
Yeah.
reasons why it wasn't a good time.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But also, like, Chicago does have a lot of, like, sports teams. Like, they're not lacking. So, like,
No, but they also have a lot of people.
yeah, true.
They have so many fans at Chicago.
True. So we'll see. I don't know.
I know.
I think Chicago would be really cool.
I think so too.
I think.
I think so too.
And it's close to here, so it's like obviously that's cool.
Well, it
Like,
makes more sense. It makes a lot of sense. And then they do Denver, and like suddenly you've got like a geographic footprint that kind of makes sense.
and you're starting to develop like conferences.
Yeah.
Like
But I think if they expand 4 teams, I don't think there's going to be an expansion for a while.
no.
Okay, because here's the thing. When you look at these senior classes, like I said, Wisconsin did senior night, some of these senior classes, last year and this year would be the years where any of these kids that did get any leniency in their eligibility from COVID or the previous Olympic year, they're kind of all culminating this year. So these senior classes are jam-packed with kids, and these incoming freshman classes are going to be monstrous. But you don't have that size of class, I don't think, at each of these grade levels. Like these junior classes are not 9 to 11 players like these senior classes are right now that have our age range like 2 to 3 years between them. And then there was a year where they didn't even recruit. Like there'd be classes now where like probably their sophomore class has no one because nobody went to college that year.
Yeah.
But it's going to be an interesting turnover in the WCHA based on that eligibility thing going on with COVID and how big these classes are this year. And then like the league, the PW, trying to capitalize on these large classes right now. If they don't expand largely, they can't get these kids. And they won't need that kind of capacity in some of these next few years.
But it's also like if they do expand 4 teams, level of play is bound to go down a little for the next few
Probably
years.
a little.
Just a little. Now I'm not saying like a lot.
Yeah.
But like just because like 4 teams is a lot of players.
Well, and it's taken, honestly, don't you think even this league, the full like first season, maybe even second season, just to adapt to the pace of play in this league? Because it's being driven by players like Kendall Coyne Schofield. And like a lot of these players have never played at that level.
Well, it's like the most high-end players. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The speed of the game is
unbelievable.
just so fast, and the physicality. So no matter who you are coming out of the WCHA or NCAA, it's going to be a major adjustment. So almost it might make it a little bit of a more padded fall for some of these players coming in if they do make it a big bulk group. But you're right, that will be more impactful to the watcher. Although how many people watching the PW are watching with such a critical eye
Yeah.
that they could see the nuanced game differences between this year PW and next year PW when it could be irrelevant in 2 years.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And like I do think that more likely if there was a 4-team expansion, it will just decimate the Euro leagues. Because a lot of the Euro
I'm
girls
afraid
are
it
going to come
won't.
back.
Like I'm afraid the PW is already last year's draft to me indicated that they kind of look at Euro players as washed up goods. If you're not graduating this year, like you're like not really draft you're not really like wanted in the draft.
I know a lot of people that went and played in the EuroLeague this year.
Now they're back.
Said no to being a reserve.
Yeah.
And went to go play Euro because they're like, well, I'm going to like actually get
least
stats
I know,
in hopes that like they will expand widely and like they can come back and play next year.
And I think that's important because we even know people that did that. And like
Savannah did that.
That's the thing. It worked really well. Now a friend of mine, Maddie Posick, that didn't work out for her last year. But like, yeah, like you don't quit because you don't get drafted. But it felt to me like GMs were making a pretty clear statement last year based on who they drafted. Because I saw them draft in the last rounds players that were just like literally just fog a mirror players over players like Savannah, who would have been older, stronger, like more experienced, but they're kind of taking more of like the NHL approach and just fill their pipeline with younger players as opposed to these other players. But they are finding their way into the league.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Like it's interesting to think like I feel like they're gonna need to kind of look over there. They're gonna need to like to fill like third line, fourth line. You know what I mean? But like But I don't know. We'll see how they do it. They might just take college girls, and
I mean, look at this. If there's
plenty of NCAA college girls who are
that's
great
the thing.
and would be good.
I'm looking at the NCAA schools that have players going off to the Olympics.
But it's also like, do those girls even want to go play in the PW?
I know. I guess you assume they all do.
You assume that
Mostly,
they do.
I feel like a lot of the Europeans don't. Like they want to go back to their home country and train for the Olympics there.
Or like even thinking of like the Ivy League girls, like those girls might just want to go start their career.
Well, that was always interesting. Like some of the girls I play with in my women's league, when I'm like, why wouldn't you join the draft? These are like highly, highly skilled players that would easily like be able to make a team. And their responses are things like, and they're like, you know, medical school grads, like their responses are like, why would I have a really high paying job. Why would I go play hockey for a third or a quarter of what I'm making?
Yeah. And like to also be, you know, it's like choosing from like, I'm going to go do something that I worked really hard on in college and like I was expecting to do before, because they wouldn't have had the dreams of a PW. The dreams of the league. And so like that was always their plan. And then like now it's like, or I'm going to go be a fourth, third line player, not make that much money, but like I'm going to be on the team. It's like, you know, I feel like for some people it's like an obvious choice. For other people, you know, they might be like, obviously I'm going to go play hockey.
I want to get started with my life.
But some people are going to be like, I want to get started with my life, make
Why
money.
wouldn't I play hockey as long as I could?
Yeah. So it's just like, I feel like it's just like a personal choice. And,
totally.
And eventually, hopefully, it's more of like, more similar where they're making more money. And
well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I mean, would you want to go to grad school, get more debt, all this stuff in order to have like a financially secure life, but because playing hockey is not an option for that. Yeah. Like, although here's another thing, and I've had like people say like, well, hockey for women really isn't a financially like viable option. And I'm like, why? Because you might not make it to the PW, or because the PW low salaries, $35K. How about all the other opportunities in hockey for women? And I looked at somebody straight in the eye recently. I was like, I pay all my expenses for 3 people, 2 children and myself, based on hockey. All my income comes from hockey. Well, whether I'm playing in the PW or not, like I'm paying for my whole life.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
in my mid-40s.
It's like there's a lot of like opportunity and like new opportunity that will eventually come from like having the league, whether that's on the ice, whether that's broadcasting, whether that's, you know what I mean? Like for these players and for like when these players start to retire too.
But here's the thing. I'm looking at it like from my perspective, right? Like I don't have the option to like, should I go to the draft or should I go do my job? Like I would if I were 20 years younger. But the girl's 25 years old now. Like in 20 years, when you're my age, you won't be able to walk over to K-Fan and be like, I'm interested in getting into broadcasting. And they're going to be like, you're in. Like right now, it's a wide open blue ocean for a go-getter in broadcasting or in media for women's hockey because there's opportunities abound. And like, you just have to sign up kind of. It's kind of like, that's what it looked like when I was younger to play girls hockey. Like, you just signed up and you could play varsity hockey. Like, unlike these girls today that spend their whole youth training their butts off to hopefully get a varsity spot. But there's also like for somebody like me, it's not woe is me. It's not like, oh, sad, I don't get to be in the P-dub. It's like, how lucky am I that there's an opening at YHH on the women's hockey pod because I happen to be like available for that, whereas somebody currently playing, like, it's just, they're not gonna have the same opportunities in 15 or 20 years that I have today in women's hockey to make a living or to like be a figure, I guess.
Well, it's like just starting, you know what I mean, to like gain traction and stuff. So
I know, and we always say like nobody wants to talk about women's hockey, but I cannot tell you how many like social media posts I've seen in the last just several months, but even more recently, like that are women's hockey specific. And this is like the Bleacher Report. This is, you know, like major Spit and Chicklets. These are major outlets that are promoting women's hockey. So anyway, it's fun time to be a part of it. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
No doubt about that. What do you think, Kayla?
I'm like falling asleep. Not because of how you talking.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kayla.
Okay. Wait, do you even want to ride with her anymore?
No. We're done.
We're done.
Not only does she not like us, but
This
she'll
is over.
probably fall asleep in the car.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I look forward to seeing you next week, Olivia. Wait.
You too, Joccie. I'll be back on Wednesday.
That's okay. We can probably do Thursday.
Better do Thursday. We can't do it without Olivia.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Of course not.
All right. Well, that wraps up another women's hockey pod. Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
Hey, there's no way around. On top of the mountain, I'm queen of the mountain. My cup running over.